Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Nancy at So Cozy Stitching. You can also follow me on Instagram at So Cozy Stitching. I was going to film this video outside because it was supposed to be, we had 88-degree weather on Friday, if you can believe that. That does not happen this time of year. Usually it is, that is the end of June type weather that we get. But it was 88 degrees and it was so beautiful. A little hot for me, I think. But I was able to get out and plant some of my garden. My husband has been working really hard this past week. He was home all weekend last weekend, and then he was working locally last week. So he was home, and so he worked really hard to get my two new garden beds ready for me to plant. And so I have a total of 3 garden beds, and I've started planting them. It's not done, but Friday, when it was so nice outside, I went out and started planting. And then yesterday it was warmer. It was still warm, but not 88 degrees warm. It was in the 60s, I think, the high 60s. But it was really, really windy yesterday. And then today, this morning, I woke up and it was cloudy and raining, and the wind is blowing, and it's chilly outside. I went outside, and it's quite chilly out there. So, anyway, today is a good day to stay in and sew or stitch. Haven't decided really what my day is going to bring yet. Um, so this is my channel about cross stitch and quilting and whatever I decide to make. So, and today I'm going to show you a little bit of everything, and I don't know how many parts this is going to be. We'll see. We'll see how fast I get through everything. So April is over. Today, by the way, today is May 2nd of 2021. But anyway, April is over, and this is my book. And I stitched every day in April. There was some exception. There were some days I only stitched maybe just in the morning or maybe just in the evenings. I didn't do a morning stitch every morning this month. I don't know, I was just kind of off on my stitching. I don't know why. Usually I'm able to stitch for 30 minutes to an hour every morning, and April I just didn't do that. And the same within the evenings. Usually I can get in at least a couple hours of stitching in the evenings, but I think with us working, especially this past week, working in the yard all day, I was just tired at night and didn't do a whole lot of stitching. So, what have I done? Okay, so in April, I had 5 finishes. Now, of my 5 finishes, I've already shown the Berry Keeper and Simple Joys. And I'm not sure if I showed this finished or not, but here it is fully finished. This was my morning stitch, and it is April by Little House Needleworks. This is one of the ones where you buy the floss pack and you get the chart for free. And usually as soon as I get these stitched up within that same day or so, I will sit down and just get it made into this little mini quilt, because it takes me about 15 minutes to make it. Not very hard at all, super simple. And then I just made a little yo-yo out of fabric that kind of matches the lettering. This lettering is like pink. It's purple and goes into a pink, and so I kind of matched the pink on it. So there it is, and it just hangs on my little hanger that my husband made. And so this actually got to hang up for about half of April, but it's still hanging up because I am now working on May, and I'll show that in a little bit. The other thing that I actually got fully finished, if you'll see right there, is my stockings. And I finished 5 of them. I still have quite a few more to go, and I thought about showing them in this video, but then I decided I want to wait until they're all finished, and then I'm going to make a special edition video for showing just my stockings. So anyway, that's your little sneak peek right there. All right, so I was able to do two other finishes. since I last seen you. And the first one is this one. Let's see. Oh, something behind it. Sorry. This is stitched on 14 count Aida. I am not sure of the color, but those whites, they do pop on there. And this is called, I think it's called Hen and Chicks by With Thy Needle and Thread. And as far as the colors, she doesn't do, I did all DMC colors. She doesn't list DMC colors, so I just try to match the picture when pulling the colors. So I love it. It's cute. I'm going to, I think, find a frame and just put this in my kitchen. I wonder if a 5x7 would work. I don't know. I'll have to see. Okay, so that's my first finish. And then this is this one I got done just in the nick of time in April. This was one of my focus pieces for April. This was a stitch along I did with Lori Holt. It is stitched on 14 count Aida. I think it's called Waxing Moon by Fabric Flare. And that's one of the ones that is screen printed on the front, but not on the back. So the back is just white. And it has a little bit of modeling in it, but not a whole lot. So there you go. The colors I chose were very similar to the picture on the front, but I went through my Victorian motto thread and picked threads from Victorian motto, and then whatever didn't match, I used DMC. The red is, I do know, is 347, DMC 347. That is Lori Holt's favorite DMC red. And so I figured since this was a stitch along with Lori that I would use her red. Her favorite red. I stitched my initials. I did have to adjust the border a little bit because of my initials. I do not have a middle name. So my maiden name, my initials was No, N-O. And anyway, since I couldn't add another one of these here, there was enough room, I just put a little heart there. There you go, Cross Stitch Nation, Heartstring Samplery. Using basically my own thread conversion. All right, what else have I worked on? Okay, so that's what I worked on. That's what I finished. Now, what else? Sorry, I have things like everywhere. Okay, the next thing I finished was this one, which is the Prim Stitch series by Lori Holt. And this one is Kindness and Generosity. And this is also one of my morning stitches. And I was able to finish it. This one very fast. Very fast. And I did change the colors a little bit. I'm using all of the called for DMC colors, but I'm just using them in different spots. I want mine to match as close to the quilt that I'm making, that is this cross stitch is based off of. So I did change like the color of the house of the or the roof of the birdhouse. I did change the color of the flowers, which they're really hard to see, but they do show up in real life. I did leave his shirt the same color as charted rather than the quilt. So this is the thing. This is the whole thing. I did go in, after I finished this block, since I had a few more days in April to stitch, I did go in and fill in more of the border. So all I have left on the border is there's some fill in here and here, and then just over, and then a couple of lines there. But I was able to, I think I finished from about the middle of this block clear down to here, and then these lines going over, and then this line going down. So, and I did have a lot of strings hanging like this, because when I finish, if it's at the if my Q snap is on there and that's as far as I can stitch, I don't tie it off. I just leave my threads hanging. So anyway, my border's about done, which that border is crazy, I'm telling you. This is stitched on 18 count vintage country mocha using mostly the called for DMCs, and that's where I'm at. So there we go. So I was able to finish that one. All right, now let's get into my focus pieces for my new starts and my focus pieces for April. Okay, so actually my focus pieces for April were actually new starts. What is, crazy. I thought that was a string. It's my hair. It looks like it's a string. There we go. So my focus pieces for April was really my Farms of Auckland Hollow. And then I focused on starts that I had had earlier this year. And so I was able to get everything finished that I had wanted to get finished in the month of April. All right, and then I had two new starts in April. One was, I think it's called Spring Farmhouse by Not Forgotten Farms, which I showed in my last video, and I haven't stitched on that anymore since I showed it, so I'm not showing it today. My other start was A Savior's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler. Sorry. This was my Easter start, and I showed it as a start in my last video, but I decided, because it's such a big piece, for the whole month of April, every Sunday I would work on this piece. So this is where I have gotten to. I started at April 4th, which was Easter Sunday, and I stitched on it every Sunday in April. I am using, it calls for, the picture was stitched in Anchor floss, but she also lists the DMC conversion, which is what I'm using. And then I am adding in a few other colors, like the red is not the called for DMC that she called for. I decided I wanted a little bit brighter red, because I love red in anything I'm stitching, and so if I can add, and I like a little bit brighter red. I also changed the color of her dress. I think her dress is, I think I used maybe 924 for her dress, and I think this was 926 I used here. It called for this color, and it's more of a greeny color, and I wanted more of a blue. So anyway, I think I did some really good progress for stitching on it. I believe there was four Sundays in the month of April, and so that's four evenings worth of stitching. Not too bad. I am stitching this on 18 count. It's called, I think it's called Thesbe, Thesbe by Seraphim Fabrics. And it's just a very neutral, creamy, kind of a white, creamy, very little modeling. Anyway, love it. This is going to be put up for a bit. I don't know when I'll pull it back out. Whenever, I don't know, whenever I decide. I do have, so I am doing the same thing that Lori Holt is doing. This is her idea, not mine. But she does a start for every family holiday, which is birthdays or anniversaries, and she also does starts on holidays like Easter and Valentine's and all them. So I am using her method, and that is what I'm doing this year for starting lots of stuff. And to be fair, I have actually finished a lot of stuff. So I have started quite a few things, but I'm also finishing quite a few things. So I don't feel too bad about doing it. Anyway, August, I don't have any new starts planned. I don't have we don't have any birthdays in August. We don't have any major anniversaries in August, or no anniversaries in August. No birthdays. There's no holidays in August. So August is kind of going to be my month where I pull out a lot of these starts and put some good time on them. But anyway, there we go. Savior's Praise. Love it. All right, what else? So my other focus piece for April, which was an old whip, what is Farms Auckland Hollow. This is the layout I'm doing. There's two different layouts you can do. There's this one, and there's this one, and this is the one I'm doing. And so I wanted to try to get this last block done before I put it up for a few months. And I didn't get it done, but I did get it started. So there's where I'm at. So I got the entire border of the block done, and I got all of these, all the straight lines done, and then started in on the hay where the chickens will be sitting. So I did get quite a bit done, but I could not get it finished, just could not, which is fine. It's not, I'd like to get it done this year. I'd like to get the whole piece done, the whole thing done this year. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'll pull this out again probably in August and get this block done. But that's where I'm at. This is being stitched on 14 count vintage country mocha. That's kind of my go-to fabric. Love it. Now, I was stitching along this border, getting over here, and I started panicking, like panicking. And the reason why is because look how close I am to that edge. Now, if you'll look, this is unstitchable fabric right here, this margin. I literally have 6 stitches between this and this band right here. I was in a panic mode because I don't know what I did, because I started it 2 inches in and 2 inches down, which is what I typically do. And when I figured out my fabric, I figured I would have 2 inches all the way around, but I don't. So anyway, let me show you the whole piece. This is a big one. It's a big one. All right, so there we go. All right, so I'm going to stop here, and I will be right back with what I have started to make, because I have had some stitching yesterday, the first day of May. I have stitched this morning. I did stitch this morning, and I started something yesterday. And then I will be back to show you that, and I will show you my plans for May.